So FIFA 18 is nearly here. Now whether it's worth spending £60 on basically last year's game and a new box, that's your business. But let's go back a bit further to FIFA 13 and take a look at 8 players who have not lived up to the potential rating that was given to them back then. Mario Balotelli. By now, Mario Balotelli was supposed to be one of the greatest strikers on the planet and a frontrunner for the Ballon d'Or. Instead, he's been chased out of his last 3 top clubs, scoring a singular goal during his last season in England, and now at the age of 27 currently plays for Nice in League 1, which has become something of a home for washed up footballers. He hasn't given up in his dreams though. Last Christmas he claimed it was not impossible for him to win the Ballon d'Or. Technically it's not impossible that Huddersfield Town will win the league this year, but are you going to place a bet? Lucas Moura. Remember the fuss surrounding Lucas Moura back in the autumn of 2012 when Man United lost out in the race for the highly rated teenager signature to PSG? The French giants forked out €45 million for the Sao Paulo wide-man. Doesn't sound like them to spend crazy big on Brazilians. Sir Alex Ferguson claimed that a club like Manchester United would never pay anything close to $45 million for a 19-year-old boy. Well, this is awkward. Moura is now 25, and if he thought his opportunities at the Parc des Princes were limited before, with the arrival of Neymar and Kylian Mbappe, he might as well take up a new hobby for the next 9 months. Jack Wilshere. Back in 2011, the English media were raving about Jack Wilshere, despite Pep Guardiola doing his best to deflate expectations by claiming that Barcelona's reserve side were filled with many just like him. In 2012, the hype train had gathered even more momentum, with many predicting him as a future England captain. 5 years later, and he's an Arsenal outcast, didn't set the world alight on loan at Bournemouth last season, and was the subject of a bid from Birmingham City on deadline day. And as far as his international aspirations go, it seems like an age ago that he was awarded the Man of the Match award in 6 out of 7 Euro 2016 qualifying games, considering he can't even force his way past Jake Livermore into the squad. XHERDANT SHAQIRI. To be fair, XHERDANT SHAQIRI is a good player and one of the most exciting players outside the top 6, but there's no way he's an 86, and if someone had told you 5 years ago that he'd be in his 3rd season at Stoke City by now, you would have had them committed. A Bayern Munich hotshot, the jinky winger produced his best form in the international stage, even scoring a hat-trick at a World Cup and a bicycle kick at Euro 2016, although we'll just ignore his recent threat to switch allegiance to Kosovo. Finding opportunities squeezed in Bavaria, he tried a 6-month stint at Inter Milan during the 14-15 season. It backfired so dramatically that he's now stuck in a perennial mid-table finish season after season with Stoke. Ganzo. FIFA 13 came out a few weeks after the London Olympics came to a halt, so it arrived at the perfect time for Ganzo. Shining as Brazil finished runners-up, the 22-year-old Sao Paulo playmaker was supposed to be the next big thing, and while Oscar earned his move following that tournament, Ganzo would have to wait for his European adventure. Didn't stop the links though. Anyway, his career went pretty much nowhere. The international team finally gave up on him in 2016 after just 8 caps. Around the same time he signed for Sevilla and played 6 league games during his first season. Jack Grealish. Oh well, this is awkward. Never mind 2012 when the creators of EA Sports predicted a big future for Jack Grealish. People were raving about this kid as recently as 2 years ago. After shining for Aston Villa under Tim Sherwood, which is quite the feat, producing a man of the match display as they dumped Liverpool out of the FA Cup semi-final, the teenager suddenly found himself at the centre of a tug of war between Ireland and England, having represented the former at underage youth levels. But no, Grealish believed he could make it as an English senior player, and after boring everyone to tears with a protracted decision, finally chose to leave Ireland behind, foregoing an almost guaranteed spot in the Euro 2016 squad. Since then he's been relegated, pictured smashed on the concrete in Marbella, and all in all, looks far more concerned about his hair than he does getting his club back into the top flight. It's early, yes, considering he's only just 21, but if I was a betting man, this lad will retire without an international cap to his name. Actually wait, Gavin McCann got a call up, so make that 2 at most. Alberto Paloschi. Some centre forwards leave AC Milan at the start of their career and go on to make the Italian giants eat their words. Other centre forwards go on to become Alberto Paloschi. It was all going so well for the creators of EA Sports when they decreed that the 22-year-old Alberto Paloschi would achieve big things back in 2012. Within 2 years he'd be scoring 15 goals for Chievo during the 13-14 campaign before netting 17 over the next 2. All this forced an £8 million move to Swansea in January 2016, which pretty much killed his career at the age of 26. He scored twice in 10 games for Francesco Guidelin's side before returning to Italy via Atalanta, where he only went to score a grand total of 0 goals in 14 games last season. Not the best tally when you're literally being paid to put the ball in the net. At the age of 27, he's currently on loan at newly promoted Spal. Viktor Fischer. It's no surprise that Viktor Fischer was predicted by EA Sports to have a big future 5 years ago. He just won Danish Talent of the Year and would go on to win Ajax Talent of the Year the following season. The skillful winger broke through at the club at the age of 18 and was a big part of their back-to-back Eredivisie successes. Signing for Middlesbrough in May 2016 was a mistake. He was a huge disappointment, scoring no goals in 16 games as they slipped into the championship, and he's now in Germany with Mainz. Although he's still young, he's only just turned 23. Ask a Borough fan if they think he'll go on to become a better player than the likes of Raheem Sterling, Kevin De Bruyne and Julian Draxler, as EA Sports so cleverly predicted. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe.